Ladies and gentlemen, our walkout kids represent Vale Soccer Club. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if I can have you all please stand and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Let's give our kids from the Vale Soccer Club a big round of applause. Well done, kids. As an official sponsor of NYCFC, Chapman Automotive invites you to visit all of our outstanding dealerships Honda. If you're a Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz, it's tough to feel the senior sit, but Chapman Automotive is done it to see Chapman's latest lineup. Keep them on the web at ChapmanTucson.com or ChapmanTucson.com. Desert Diamond Casinos and Entertainment is proud to sponsor the Desert Diamond Cup for the 6th year in a row with convenient locations in Tucson, Sonoma, Warren, Glendale. Desert Diamond Casino is your place to play. Get the most of your experience. Sign up for the Diamond Rewards Card and you get a free play, diamond discounts and more. Or sign up for the tribute card if you're a veteran or active member of the U.S. military. For more information, visit bbcat.com and connect with Desert Diamond Casinos on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's Desert Diamond Casinos and Entertainment.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome to Keno Sports Complex, the Keno North Stadium, the second game of the finals day of the Desert Diamond Cup here in Tucson, Arizona. New York City FC against Sporting Kansas City is game 2. The team's getting set. We can see Sean Johnson in goal for New York City this afternoon. And we'll have a look at the lineups just to confirm. And a few interesting names in there. Of course, David Villa leaps out, but so too do the new signings, Maxi Morales and Yangel Herrera. 2 others as well. And on top of that, returning to Major League Soccer after a spell overseas is Rodney Wallace. Jack Harrison, of course, had a fantastic rookie season in 2016. And a familiar looking Sporting KC as we get underway. The likes of Espinoza, Zusi, Biesler, Sunovic, Felheiber. Just drops away from Benny Fehlhaber. Herrera with his first touch. Chano on this near side. RJ Allen is just outside him. He opts to go back to Kyans, the heart of the defence. Good afternoon, Brian Crookham. This is an intriguing one, very different, shall I say, to the early stages of this pre-season tournament. These are the starting 11s, or very close to what we can expect next weekend, and therefore we should see a pretty competitive game this afternoon.
Well, I think both coaches are going to want to get as close to as they can to the groups that are going to represent these teams next weekend in the openers, and try to get as many minutes as they can, push them through that kind of last phase of preseason, and go home and prepare for what becomes a massive week next week.
We just saw Rodney Wallace giving chase, showing a turn of pace as well. Gantar, the man in the middle this afternoon. Experienced fourth official as well in Baldomero Toledo. Sinovic. Espinosa just held off there. Shano just delaying a little bit. Espinosa will have another go. Iko Para back to Tim Melia. Fernandez up against Morales. Villa finds Ring. Back to Villa. New York still have it. Rodney Wallace back to goal.
The expectation from this New York City team is that you're going to see a very dynamic group that can attack and go forward, but they're already showing that they want to be aggressive on the defensive side too. Press a little bit. We'll see how long that lasts in the half, especially given where these teams are from a fitness standpoint. But certainly interesting to watch the way they approach the game when they don't have the ball early on here.
So Villa's back in after serving that suspension on Wednesday. No Andrea Pirlo. He's not among these subs listed either. He got a decent run out on Wednesday though. Jack Harrison up against Espinosa. Young man who had a wonderful 2016, didn't he? Within a whisker of claiming Rookie of the Year, and arguably would have walked it had he not missed the first 12 games of the season.
Talented young player, exciting in the final third, makes a lot of things happen there. You mentioned Pirlo, but also McNamara not playing today, and somebody that showed pretty well on Wednesday, and you know, adds a lot to this group as well. So everybody's in different places coming into preseason with different work that's been done, but certainly a team that's come together with a lot of fun pieces to it.
All the captain's armband on Wednesday did McNamara. That's one way of blocking the ball. We come back to Jack Harrison. As a rookie, you can only but learn around the likes of Villa, Lampard, Pirlo, Patrick Vieira as your head coach.
You've definitely have the information at hand to maximize your learning environment, especially when you're a talented young attacking player.
Mapara, Fellheiber, first time to Zusi. Sure what's been given there, because the assistant didn't give a throw. Maybe I
believe it's a handball.
Graham Zusi at fullback. Your thoughts?
Well, I would imagine Bruce Arena is going to be happy to see that, based on where Zusi's been placed with the national team, but certainly a player that can add to the ability to possess and go forward out of that spot. Defends well, high energy. So I think it's a very interesting. I don't know if you call it an experiment at this point or change, but certainly allows you to continue to get very talented bodies on the field in effective positions.
And to have the intelligence and the vision that somebody like Graham Zusi has got from that position as well.
Well, he's a very good passer, so he'll be able to create opportunities and get service in from wide areas that and become very effective there. So once again, it creates a starting 11 that gets as many talented players as you possibly can on the field.
Espinosa finds Fellheiber. Himself is back on the national scene with the return of Bruce Arena. Mustafa. Offside. Won't count.
Well, this Kansas City team can come forward quickly, and especially as they'll pounce on those turnovers. They'll be solid in transition and looking to get forward fast. Fellheiber's timing there isn't quite right, but they will come at you once they win possession.
And at the other end, David Villa, MLS MVP for 2016. You talk about DPs that are worth their weight in gold. 41 goals and 12 assists in 63 appearances since arriving in MLS. That's not a bad return.
Well, if you're in player personnel, that's what you're dreaming of, is being able to utilize that money, that DP money, and make sure it counts. And he is certainly a good example of that.
Herrera back to Cayens. Wallace on the far side. Morales. Wallace gets the return, takes it down nicely. Couldn't quite find Alex Ring. Sinovic. Shalawi just straying away from him. But Mustafa does well. And again he does well. Advantage played. Fernandez. Back to Espinosa. Just takes a heavy touch. We saw a little bit of that in the first game. New England against New York Red Bulls, just a few heavy touches even at this stage of pre-season. But what we are seeing here, Brian, is the movement, the understanding, the cohesion that you've worked on during pre-season, and the speed of play which is now beginning to build up to that kind of hot in time for the opening game next weekend.
Well, despite some pretty tired legs, some of these guys, Kansas City's been here for a month. basically in their preseason preparation, and that certainly takes its toll on you. But you're right, finding that understanding in groupings of players, you know, finding pairs that can work well together. In some cases, teams that have, you know, had a good chunk of their roster returning and a good majority of their starting lineup returning. So just gaining that understanding back and a little continuity, and once again getting to a fitness level that makes sense as well.
A little sloppy from Espinoza there after Phil Hyber had created some space well. Little rough and tumble. Nothing given by the referee. Sean Johnson's going to be a huge, huge bonus for New York City this season, isn't he?
Well, he is. He's certainly been
Offside.
on that trajectory to be one of the top goalkeepers for quite some time, and for him to land at New York City probably a little unexpectedly as the way it went down. But
well, it was a busy day for him on that December day. He went from Chicago to Atlanta to New York City, and a bit of general allocation and targeted allocation. GAM and TAM were involved in that deal.
Certainly probably a roller coaster of a day for him, but you know, he's in a situation where he can make a difference in a team that is quite talented and is looking to build on what was a very successful second year for expansion franchise.
And of course this year will be a second year for Patrick Vieira. He had a pretty decent first year. Fernandez, a little bit too tight to squeeze that one through. Beasler just cushions his header to Espinoza. And still only 27, Sean Johnson, which in goalkeeper years is still pretty young. Herrera finds Shano. Villa away from Aikupara. In his best year in terms of starts and appearances and minutes did Aikupara in 2016.
Player they're happy to have on good run of health as well, and stringing a bunch of games together just really synchronizes him into a group that's been a solid back four with Beasler. Obviously, we just talked about the change with Zusi, but Sinovic has been there for quite some time as well.
You talk about those names. What experience you've got along that back line. Miscued there from RJ Allen.
Presents the Noche Latina de Football MLS Preseason. Ciudadanos por la Causa has served the housing, health, and education, small business needs of the Tucson community for over 30 years, and our staff are ready to assist you.
Nicely taken down on the chests there.
0018, it's Chicanos por la Casa.
Rodney Morris.
Or we've already seen it. Not only the back four, look to get in that space behind the back four. Certainly a different look, a different play behind that.
Shano, and just kept from sneaking over the line there by Tia. It was Maxim Shano that got something on that. Morales finding Villa. Space for, say, Wallace on the outside, but Alex Ring was making the run as well down the inside right channel.
Well, you don't see him pick the wrong pass very often. I think he's going to have a look at that and feel Rodney Wallace could have maybe been clear to goal, but there's a sinking feeling when you give the ball to David Villa and 30 yards away from goal and let him and his friends run at you.
Alex Ring finding, looking to try and find Harrison, who's still going to give chase. Not sure it's going to go out for Beaslett. He has to do something about it. A bit ragged there from Matt Beaslett. Actually found a teammate.
Just like he drew it out.
Morales, Harrison's racing away down this near side with his arm in the air, and he's found. I think Wallace may have just strayed offside had it found him. These two sides start on the road their opening games of the MLS season. Sporting KC next Saturday at DC United. Good work from Sean Johnson, who then manages to leave a ball on the field, which he knew would give him a little bit of extra time to get back into his goal.
Excellent little bit of gamesmanship to ensure the ball doesn't get thrown over his head.
Did the work, did the job, should I say.
Well, you see Fernandez and the way he breaks it with pace, too.
Last-ditch challenge there, and a drive from distance just sailing wide from Graham Zusi.
Well, there's another thing that Zusi will give you, becoming that late player. Although Fernandez can't get to goal here, Zusi's able to step up. Certainly a good striker of the ball, and he'll come find those spots late.
Sporting KC, as I said, on the road at DC United a week from today. New York City a day later, and they will help to open the new stadium in Orlando. Sporting KC and DC United, that's a 6 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern for Orlando against NYCFC on Sunday. There is Zusi. Just had that chance a few moments ago. There's a few little passes just going astray. Tim Melia, as a result, it's cost Sporting KC a corner. And from the last one, they went pretty close with Shano. Maxi Morales, he'll take this one. Harrison was stood over it. It'll be an outswinger. In fact, it's dropped short. Allen. Atharita. Kyans. All the way back to Johnson. Via. Beasler closing down the space.
Says raise your glass to the next MLS victory. When you get your beer at the concession stand, don't forget to keep your Granite Group 32-ounce red cup with you to use for additional purchases. That's the Granite Group and Nova Home Loans.
Sporting KC won't be thrilled with the kind of looseness with the ball right now, and throughout that back four, goalkeeper, too many chances given away unnecessarily.
I was going to say, some of that distribution, it's almost they're bringing it on themselves at times.
You don't need to help players like David Villa, Rodney Wallace, Jack Harrison. You don't need to help them gain possession in the final third, and I think that'll... My guess is Peter Vermees will make mention of that as he evaluates the first half here.
Seth Sinovic stood in the shadows. Fellheiber in the sunshine. RJ Allen with the throw. Looking for options, finds Vio. Tries in turn to find Harrison. These two sides have to wait until week 2 for their home openers. Sporting KC home to last year's Supporters Shield winners FC Dallas. Go to sportingkc.com or call 1-888-4KC-GOAL for tickets to that home opener. And that's DC United, who Sporting KC open up against on the road in week 1. That's the first team to visit Yankee Stadium this season. NYCFC.com or call 855-776-9232 to get your tickets for that home game against DC United. That is on March the 12th. I believe it's almost upon us.
Very soon.
Away by Beasler. A little heavy for Harrison. 25 minutes gone, still no score at Keno North Stadium in this final game for these two sides of the Desert Diamond Cup.
You talk about a new position for Graham Zusi, and I think there you see those little adjustments you have to be able to make when you're maybe playing a line deeper than you're used to, where he gets attracted to the ball a little bit and Rodney Wallace goes right by him. Instead of having cover there, you're that guy. You're the one that has to accept them on and kind of tuck into the back four and deal with it. So those are the little things that are the difference in playing a line deeper.
So you start giving chase. Tricky one for Beasler. Deals with it. Mustafa. Espinoza finds Zusi. Morales trying to connect from that little flick on from David Villa. He thought about it, now he's going to have a go. Shalawi is upended rather unceremoniously by Alex Ring. Be spoken to by the referee.
Well, you see the little counter, and because it was RJ Allen that was in the box and shooting at the other end, Ring's got to get across and just decided to end it instead of having his team do any more defending on the break there.
Feilhaber. Another great year for Benny Feilhaber in the assists column. 15 in 2015, 13 in 2016. Certainly makes things tick for Sporting KC. New York City do well to weave their way out of that one. Didn't quite get enough on it, did he, David Villa? Just to check it into his stride.
Well, you see how quickly they can break forward, but going back to your comment on Feilhaber, I think he was fantastic. We'll get another look at this, and good ball forward by Ring, and you're right, Villa would just wanted a little bit more of that, and Iko Para is probably pretty relieved that rolled on by him there. But with Feilhaber, I thought at the end of last year, the effort and the performance he was putting on was pretty incredible. The amount of ground he covers and his quality was really big for Kansas City.
Shalawi, nice little turn there. He's thinking about it.
Here we go, just a little whoop, put on the brakes and let him fly by.
Daniel Shalawi, Hungarian-born, homegrown player with Sporting KC. The club's fourth homegrown signing, signed last January of 2016. Yet to make his debut in MLS, but with a turn of pace like that and twisting and turning, creating some opportunities. Spent the latter half of last year on loan in Hungary. Sanovic giving up the corner kick as we edge past the half-hour mark here in Tucson. And Maxi Morales has gone over. Harrison's dropped short, as has Rodney Wallace. Floats one over. And Fernandez can bring the ball away.
Well, New York City's twice had Chanot isolated in the box on those short corners and haven't been able to find the delivery there. They're getting the matchups they want in the box. They just got to find that final delivery and put the ball up where he can go get it.
Yangel Herrera. He's on loan from Manchester City. Just a few weeks after joining Man City from Atletico Venezuela. 19-year-old. Copara thought better of it with Maxi Morales racing through to cover to block off the path back to Tim Melia. We've got to say Melia's distribution in this opening half has not been too good. I'll be hoping to sort that out, certainly in time for the start of the season, but maybe in time for the second half.
Still going to see some preseason passes today.
Suni Saad denied the chance there. Kyan's coming across to cover. Back to Johnson. Ring back to Herrera. Morales. Will celebrate his 30th birthday on Monday, Maxi Morales. Feldheiber looking to apply a bit of pressure. Kynes, though, comfortably back to Johnson. 33 minutes gone here at the Keno North Stadium. Allen to Harrison. He does very, very well there. Very, very well. And he's still going, is Harrison. Villa. He was looking across after he had tried to make connection to see if he was going to be offside. Didn't see a flag.
I think he was maybe hoping he was offside at that point. Unbelievable toughness here shown by Jack Harrison, and then he skips past Beasler. Just a little off the pass to RJ Allen, but then you see Morales Villa not quite able to get there.
And that will come despite being as talented as Morales and Villa are. It's that connection, that understanding that might take a few games. But you see Morales already looks to be a kind of a floating player. This is, I was going to say, it's going to be dangerous for Sporting KC. That occasion is offside. Morales just looks almost as if he's been given a free roll. Just roam and move around and pull the strings.
Well, you see where he came from in that situation, where he's able to drift off into that left-hand side. Now you're getting service from a different point of view. Certainly a talented player. Been fun to watch him in this first half.
Gerso Fernandez looking for the return from Graham Zusi. Been a little bit of that first half, hasn't there? Just a few off colour passes.
TV communications broadcasting network for the Hispanic community in Arizona and nationwide. That's Univision Arizona.
On by Morales, finding Wallace. And again. Well, it's better to do it here than next weekend, I imagine.
Well, and like we've talked about, some of these, sometimes it's the first time you've really gotten the majority of what you think is going to be your starting 11 on the pitch. You also are thinking about, you know, these teams, each team has had a slightly different rhythm in the way they've trained. New York City has trained a couple times a day, from my understanding, the whole time they've been here, you know, and so that also affects your legs when you're getting into the 35-40 minute range, and the quality that goes with that. So a lot of things to deal with, a lot of things to push through, and especially as you look at this being the final preseason game and being able to go home, regenerate, and look forward to a fresh start next weekend.
I imagine for some of these players, be reunited with your families. They've been away for a while.
Well, some of these players haven't even seen their new homes yet.
Matt Beasler, captain consistent for Sporting KC. Espinoza, looking for Sinovic, takes it first time. Fernandez might keep it in. Matharita will steal it away. Herrera. Villa, does it drop down for him? Yes, it does. Can he get a shot away? And it gets a deflection. And it's a corner kick for New York City.
Well, Wallace is able to break away and then launch. Look at that with David Villa. In traffic, being able to pull that down. Malia had an idea that maybe he handled that ball.
Melia got caught up in a bit of traffic there.
Dangerous ball in. Herrera able to just get on the end of that, but not quite enough to direct it down on goal.
Or you can go to the concession stand and get yourself a fresh cold beer.
Good work from Zusi, because it was 3-on-3, but Wallace got away. Foul by Mostavar on Maxi Morales. Well anticipated by RJ Allen, and a nice ball as well.
Get a look at that last chance. Ball rolled down. Parr's having to do a lot of chasing there and to find Villa. Getting a lot of movement. Once they've sucked those fullbacks high, they're able to play down the sides of the center backs and find some space there.
Wallace and Morales are over this. Morales will deliver. It's off the head of Espinoza. Away by Aikopara. Into the last 5 minutes of this first half. Still no score. Two sides have met twice before in regular season play. 2015, 2016, Sporting KC coming off better on both occasions. You just get a sense that New York City are getting stronger and stronger and stronger as each season goes by. There is some adapting to be done as one of the new kids on the block.
Well, you're correct. They've steadily built this roster. They've been able to adapt. It's a good mix of guys that understand the league, have been around the league, and certainly some talented players from outside the league that have been a part of it. And as we talked earlier, effective use of DP money, being able to get bang for the buck.
If they can improve their record at Yankee Stadium, because their road record was the best in Major League Soccer in 2016. And I think we said on Wednesday there was a point in 2016 when their road record was better than their home record. Certainly a side that doesn't tend to change its style, whether it's home or away. Harrison looking for Villa. There's only one thing that Harrison was going to do there, wasn't it? It was to try and pick out David Villa, and he almost did.
Absolutely, and he does a good job of spinning that ball in behind. It's one of those balls that teases. Goalkeeper can't come for it. Back four has got to turn and face their own goal. Very difficult to defend, and just out of the reach of Villa.
Zusi to Biesler. Approaching his 9th season at his hometown club, Matt Biesler. Zusi finds Espinoza and Mustafa. Just held up. Over the top for Sunisar to chase. He's not had too much joy in this first half. Sunisar returning to Sporting KC.
No, he's done a lot of chasing and not found a lot of the ball to this point.
Alex Ring with Wallace now on the right and Harrison on the left. Wallace keeps it in. Plenty of bodies in the middle for NYC. For Morales, and that's not too far wide from the Argentine.
Well, once again, you see the pace of Wallace being able to chase that ball down, that left-footed ball curling in. Good set and a great look at goal.
Into the last minute then of this first half. Still no score. New York City having come the closest to breaking the deadlock. Here's another chance. Melia off his line. Late pressure from New York City.
Once again, the pace of Harrison just clips it over. Looks like it comes off Opara's hip as he's ensuring it stays outside the post there.
Should be the last action of the first half. Dave Ganter calls time on the first 45 minutes. A 45 minutes without goals, but as that first half wore on, Brian, you could see New York City were just kind of finding their strides, and we saw some chances towards the end. Villa, Morales, Jack Harrison all beginning to kind of find their range, and Rodney Wallace seemed to be busy most of that first half.
Well, I think you're right. They got stronger as the half went on. Kansas City looked a little fatigued as they headed into halftime there. And I think that's going to be something to deal with as they go into the second half.
This was the I say best of the chances, the closest, the most work that Tim Mealy had to do that was Shano from a corner. At the other end, I think was this the Zusi chance?
Fernandez, then Zusi from distance. Whizzes one just wide of the post, but then it was pretty much New York City from there, and just off for David Villa. Ring playing really positive balls, sitting in, being able to play balls forward first.
Shallowy showed a little turn of pace on that occasion, but Harrison, well, there, if it had finished that off, it would have been a wonder goal.
A lot of strength, little agility, then the effort from Villa, they just can't get on the end of. And this is where it kind of became relentless for New York City. We're attacking those wide areas, the pace of Harrison, the pace of Wallace, the quality of Villa in movement in and around those center backs. A lot of chances created late in the half that just don't come, a lot of half chances created late in the half that just don't come to fruition for New York City FC.
Going through a few plans at half-time to try and up the ante in the second half. New York City, who've got the upper hand in terms of possession and chances, but not as far as the scoreline's concerned. Second half to come. At half-time, it's New York City 0, Sporting Kansas City 0.
Today, make sure to stop by at the Pinprick Station for the opportunity to win a 58 television. That's 58 putting the play. Think this works about the more and he's proud talking about and FCC Cup exceed your Grand Slam's expectations this week and every week for baseball players and digital baseball players. So the FCC Cup vaccination is close. Nuclear homeowners get gold. That's the brand of group of 700. Remember to celebrate the goal of your favorite MLFC. Nuclear homeowners have every time you purchase a deal to contest the same extra brand group of all the homeowners. This is for a place to stand a drive with no speed limits. Autobahn will keyboard by super extra south after time electric vote. People will see the position off now. Please check out the group drive and fast brand and visit them at www.autobahnc.com for exclusive and hours information at the Autobahn Air Speedway. Tonight's game could get into the culture. de fútbol de Univisión Arizona, presentados por Cristianos por la Causa. Once again, is over. Stay with us for the afterglow, presented by fans and live performance by La Membriera. And also remember, producing Jack Mara, all the ladies, men's and women's prizes for the upcoming season. The season will be upon for 30 years, so go to shop.education.com to get season tickets to what will surely be a memorable season here in the public. The brand is using by the homeowners says, raise your glass to the next MLS victory. When you get to do at the concession stand, don't forget to keep your brand group, courtesy by Sports Company, and use it for additional purposes. That's the brand group of the homeowners. Okay, let's give our participants a big round of applause. Great job, kids. Okay, fans, just want to see that time again. We got it. It's time to get ready to catch and toss international mini soccer balls. Make some noise, put your hands in the air if you want to cross mini soccer ball. You have choices in researching and selecting your healthcare services. Look for cross-accreditation and comparing providers. Cross-accreditation is given by providers who take commitment to service quality and a focus on the satisfaction of the people they serve. To find cross-accredited providers, visit us online at carf.org. That's carf.org.
Welcome back to the second half.
On the pitch for
I'll take you through some of the changes.
Number 17, Saad Abdul Salam.
Graham Zusi we can see down in front of us. Abdul Salam. Saad Abdul Salam has taken his place at right back. Abdul Salam, who's approaching his third season for Sporting KC. He's always impressed me when I've seen him play. And Abdul Salam will take up his place near the penalty spot for this corner kick for Sporting KC. As you can see, Benny Feilhaber delivers. Johnson thought about it. And another corner.
Vantage West is a proud sponsor of MLS preseason in Tucson. To us, you're not a bank account. You are not a credit card. To us, you are friends and neighbors, a part of our history, a key to our future.
Well, Abdul Salam adds another big target in the box here on the corner kick as well. And Sean Johnson was looking straight into the sun as it kind of comes down toward the horizon in the west here. a little better sight of it coming from this side.
Towards the near post, Villa gets something on that. Harrison then helps it on its way. Joso Fernandez feeling the effects of that challenge from Yangel Herrera. Guinea-Bissau goes by Joso. Played in the Portuguese league, was at Belenenses. Sinovic up against RJ Allen, tries to angle it round to Espinoza, back to Sinovic. Got Allen for company again. Iko Para. Busy start to the second half for Seth Sinovic. Suni Saad, his first touch letting him down.
Well, it's a big change from the first half where you see Sinovic, you see Abdul Salam getting the ball in a lot higher positions, splitting them up the field a little bit more and being able to pin Jack Harrison and Rodney Wallace back a little bit, making them start in their own half, which is significant because when they start in your half and they end up running at you, it becomes a threat to goal every single time.
Yes, you got Harrison and Wallace and the threat of Villa through the middle, and Maxi Morales was loitering as well, wasn't he, first half?
He was, and I think Ring has done well, and these are guys that are just now getting integrated into this team, and you know, they've certainly looked like players that with a little more time together are going to find great combinations here.
Harrison, Morales latches onto, Iko Para chasing, in for Villa, simple one! David Villa gobbles it up. Easy as you like. Maxi Morales to David Villa, 51 minutes gone, and New York City have got one past Sporting KC.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Maxi Morales has a lot of freedom to roam, and you see him here being able to get into a wider area. Early delivery out to him. See a little bit more of this here. Early delivery out to him, and then you've got David Villa just moving off the shoulders of players. Sinovic can't recover, and he's not going to miss from there often.
I suspect that's a combination we're going to hear off quite a bit this year, Morales and Villa. And Harrison played a part as well. Got a little lofted wedge under that pass down the wing. Little nutmeg there from Abdul Salam. Wallace rides the challenge. Is Villa held onside? He's not. Just half a step.
Fans, tonight is Noche Latina de Fútbol de Univision Arizona, presentado por Chicanos por la Causa. Once the game is over, stay with us for the after party.
Fel Heiber.
Featuring a live performance by La Nebriera.
There's a timely deflection, interception from Maxim Chano.
Well, it's a good intervention, because if you look at where Fellhaber got the ball in between lines there and able to thread that first ball, an early ball, play quickly through there, that's the way they're going to get in between what's been a solid center back pairing.
Mustafa's going to have to hurry. Villa's on his shoulder. Let's have another look at this.
Get a look inside.
Hiring in Tucson. We are continuing our hiring initiatives into 2017 with positions, customer service and collections, supporting credit card servicing.
His eyes will be watering.
Can be done online 24/7 at jobs.city.com.
Don't normally get that quick stoppage in play for that particular injury.
I think we all know what happened there. Best left unsaid. But he's still grimacing, is Suni Saad. Offside against Suni Saad, who's moving a little bit more freely. Yeah, you'd imagine if this New York City side can kind of tighten things up defensively. As we said earlier in the week, the previous game, they were one of the most exciting teams to watch from a neutral standpoint, because they scored a lot and conceded a lot. I imagine Patrick Vieira's going to want to tighten things up defensively, and they've certainly not given Sporting KC too many chances this afternoon.
Well, I think structurally, you know, if they can find that balance, see an opportunity here.
As Opara got caught in possession there. Could be trouble. Matt Beasler does well. The danger, though, still not cleared. Villa doesn't quite sit down, and it's going to be a free kick. Studs up, according to the referee. Just a little high on that challenge, maybe on David Villa.
Finishing that thought, I think if they can find that combination of Herrera and Ring that can maybe sit a little bit deeper and protect a little bit more on that back four, clearly, and you see it here, Morales is able to join. He's finding a good understanding already with David Villa, and you know, if those two can connect a little bit more and then have a little bit better shape behind the ball to prevent that counter, this is a team that's really going to have to be dealt with.
Looking at that replay, I can see what Matt Beasler was complaining about. It was not too short, but the decision has been given. And Villa, as you would expect, is stood over it.
By the way, there's a Pirlo that can get in that mix too.
Yes, their cup runneth over. There is Villa, and that's a real stinger for Melia. Morales was in an offside position anyway, wouldn't have counted. So tough, aren't they? And Didier Drogba is a master at that kind of free kick that is so flat. It's very difficult for the goalkeeper. Gives him even less time as it just appears over the wall. There's not much of an arc on it.
We saw that Wednesday from Pirlo as well. little knucklers that.
Advantage from the referee.
Here we get a look at what you're talking about. Up and down.
Speedway provides 2 Grand Prix style tracks and Italian electric cars capable speeds up to 50 miles per hour. Please
Goalkeeper's
check out the
view of it.
Fan Fest zone, or visit them at www.autobahnspeed.com for location and hours information. That's the Autobahn.
It's almost a pass at pace, isn't it? There's not the foot rolled over the top of the ball to give it that top spin. It's more in step. Too much for Sunisad. A little firm from Benny Fehlhaber. And Yangel Herrera.
That's the branding group at Nova Home Loans. Celebrate the goal of your favorite MLS team with the Ian Brandon Cup every time you purchase a beer at the concession stand. That's the branding group at Nova Home Loans.
We were saying in the earlier game, there's not too much you can draw from results in pre-season. It is all about the performance. And the two don't necessarily go hand in hand, a good pre-season and a good regular season.
Well, that's certainly proven time and time again here, and you're still working toward getting that correct combination of players on, like we talked about, the amount, the intensity of training that's gone on.
Nice ball, Wallace. To Morales, in fact, falls to Villa. Villa at the near post. Doesn't need too much room, does he, David Villa? Give him just a little bit of daylight.
Always seems to end up on goal.
Morales is just offside, but already you're beginning to see that relationship between these two players beginning to take shape. They could be a real threat in 2017.
Well, and you see where he works from. He works from deep, finds a wide ball, and then he comes and he finds himself straight off of David Villa, and that becomes so hard to deal with because his movement's so good, and having an active player in that, he clearly has a pretty free role to go make things happen there. As that evolves, it's going to be a dangerous combination.
Whereas at the other end, there just seems to be a little bit of lack of cohesion. Obviously, there's no Dom Dwyer out there this afternoon. With Fehlhaber and Espinosa, you would imagine, are on a better wavelength with him than Shallowy and Sunisad, but kind of opened up a bit for Sporting KC there.
Well, the difference is Shalhoub has got to make that movement, and he's got to make it with conviction. You see Roger Espinosa giving him a little, hey, come on, keep going.
Towards the near post, off the side of the head of Iko Para. That should be comfortable for Sean Johnson. We've wandered past the hour mark. New York City 1, Sporting Kansas City 0. David Villa with the goal. Set up by a man I imagine you'll hear quite a bit of. Maxi Morales, who's looked busy and inventive.
Well, and while we say he's had a pretty free role, he's back doing real work defensively and helping direction to the way this New York City team is defending as well.
Kyans dispossessed by Fehlheiber. Matarita, and I think we're going to look at a penalty here. That was Alex Kyans, got himself into a spot of bother. And having not really been troubled too much defensively, Sean Johnson's now going to face a penalty kick.
Well, this is what you get with Fehlheiber. Unbelievable work, always busy. Kyans labors on the ball just a little bit and ends up paying for it. Fehlheiber immediately gets himself in the box and draws the penalty.
He just saw Fehlheiber just have a little look over his shoulder. He knew that the challenge was coming in from Matarita. It's going to be the other 22, Sunisard. The referee wants it. He definitely wants it on the spot. There we go. So this to level things up. Sunisard against Sean Johnson. 65 minutes gone. Johnson making himself big. And he does well. He does very, very well, Sean Johnson. Not the best of connections. The direction was pretty good.
Well, as you've said, not the best of connections, but certainly a great, very explosive save. Sean Johnson so long. You can get those big arms out there. And wow, it does well to explode down there. Get down early. Great view of it here.
On the pitch for Sporting Kansas City, number 94, Jimmy Madronda.
Change made by Sporting KC. Jimmy Madronda coming in for Benny Fehlheiber. He's got an early touch. Gets the return from Espinoza. Jimmy Madronda. Back to Espinoza. Fernandez. Tickled into the middle, and Johnson comes up big again. That time with his feet. Shallowy up against RJ Allen.
Well, sometimes that missed penalty can really be deflating, but Kansas City now finding themselves on the front foot. A lot of energy, responding well to it.
Also the sign of a good keeper. Johnson's not had a great deal to do, has he, for a good hour? 2 big saves.
Well, you get a look at it here, and that Fernandez with the little ball in. And Johnson just staying in there, making himself big, and gets a boot on it.
Another change coming, this time for New York City. They're going to make a double change, in fact. Miguel Camargo. And James Sands, the 16-year-old, gets some more time out there.
Good match for New York City. Number 99, Miguel Camargo, and number 80, James Sands.
The two stepping out, Rodney Wallace and Yangel Herrera. Madranda over the top, a little bit too much of a, too straight on that one.
West is a proud presenting sponsor of the 2017 Noche Latina. Learn more about Vantage West at VantageWest.org. That's VantageWest.org.
Some fresh legs on there for both sides as we enter the last, approach the last 20 minutes. Alex Ring, who's kind of been no frills, hasn't he, number 8?
Well, he has. He's a good complement to the other guys that are in there, and they're able to, like we talked about earlier, all three of them are willing to do the defensive work in all areas of midfield, which gives them more freedom, releases different players there. Sands looks like he'll sit in and sit a little bit deeper in that midfield, but decent combination of players in there for the first 65 minutes of this match.
A bit more purpose from Sporting KC as well, as you say, since that penalty miss. Good chance, second chance for Sunusad. And his penalty saved by Sean Johnson. Abdul Salam. Mustafa finds Espinoza, who's a little wayward with that pass for Sinovic. All bases covered. Amelia, though, finds Sinovic, who finds Shaloui. Ring under pressure from Espinoza.
Well, more energy from Kansas City, able to press a little bit higher, even with the turnover. Sinovic plays forward, and then the whole group goes to press. And Espinoza finds a very good pass here, just out of the reach.
That's Country Financial.
Opara. Madranda finds Abdul Salam. Back to Madranda, didn't quite get to it. Good defending from New York City. In fact, I think it was James Sands that got the boot in to clear the danger.
Sands is impressed. He came on on Wednesday and did a decent job. Seems confident.
Espinoza just tickles it to Beasler. Sonny Mustafa. Espinoza with Ring giving chase to Sinovic. Sunusad bypasses him, Matarita. Well, this could be problems. It's 3 against 3. Chance on the angle. Miguel Camargo.
Esta noche Noche Latina de Fútbol de Univision Arizona, presentado por Chicanos para
We see Morales pulls bodies with him, which frees Camargo, and I'd be a little disappointed not to at least get that on frame.
Just a reminder, the home openers for these two sides: Sporting KC home to FC Dallas on the 11th of March. Go to sportingkc.com for ticket details. NYC home to DC United on the 12th. NYCFC.com. There's the matches to come for NYCFC and Sporting KC. First game for NYCFC is one on the road at Orlando a week tomorrow. And all of this, the pre-season's about laying the groundwork, the foundations for what all teams involved hope's going to be a successful season. Time will tell. Another change for Sporting KC coming up. The Ghanaian Latif Blessing. New York City are going to make a change as well. Ethan White is taking on some last-minute fluids. Blessing signed during the off-season from Liberty Professionals of the Ghana Premier League. He was the league's player of the year, 17 goals in his first season with the senior side. He's just waiting on the sidelines alongside Ethan White. He himself signed a new contract with NYCFC. He'll get a little under 15 minutes with his side leading by 1-0. David Villa, Sean Johnson at the other end having saved a penalty from Sunisad. Then saved well with his feet as well just moments later. Looks like Daniel Shalawi, I think, is the number. It is indeed. So Shalawi makes way for Blessing.
Number 9, Latif Blessing. And for New York City, number 3, Ethan White.
And White steps in for RJ Allen. He'll take his place at right back. Blessing steps into centre midfield.
It's tough to field a team this good, but Chapman Automotive has done it. To see Chapman's latest lineup, visit them on the web at Chapman.
Well, Blessing will bring that pace, craftiness in the wide area there. Probably reflect a little bit more of the look that Fernandez gives on this right-hand side.
When you get your beer at the concession stand, don't forget to keep
White will have his hands full for his first assignment here.
to use for additional purchases. That's the branding group at Nova Home Loans.
So Novic's the player down, but the free kick's going the way of NYC.
Univision Arizona is proud to partner with FC Tucson for Noche Latina de Fútbol, presented by Chicanos por la Causa at La Poderosa Spanish Radio. Univision Arizona is
Harrison on this near side up against Abdul Salam.
network for the Hispanic community in Arizona and nationwide. That's Univision Arizona. Vantage West is a proud presenting sponsor of the 2017 Noche Latina. Learn more about Vantage West at vantagewest.org. That's vantagewest.org.
Harrison against Abdul Salam. Box down in the corner there. Be a corner kick to New York City. So Alex Kyans is coming up, and Maxime Chanot. So too is Ethan White. Maxi Morales. De Matarita.
Fans, don't forget to enjoy listening to Tito.
We talked earlier about that service coming from the short corner and being able to turn the back four and be effective, and at least in that case, Kansas City's got to try to play that, which wasn't the case in the first half.
Certainly been a better second half for Sporting KC. Shielding their eyes. Just a slight delay because we've got another change.
Into the match for Sporting, number 77, Tyler Pasha.
Pasha steps in. Dejerso Fernandez is done for the day, and his pre-season is done as well in terms of games. Pasha giving chase. Matarita had to pop it back in. Could open up here for Sporting KC. Well-timed challenge there from Maxime Chanot. Oh, that was a little nasty, that. On the back, and it's a straight red card. Sunisard on James Sands. And Sporting KC will see out this game with 10 men. The youngster, thankfully, is back on his feet.
Well, we see it here, he breaks, and that's just a bad tackle. Very unnecessary in this match.
City Group is now hiring. We are continuing our hiring initiatives into 2017 with positions in customer service and collection, supporting credit card servicing. Applications can be done online 24/7 at jobs.city.com/Tucson. Don't forget to stop by and see the City Group for additional details. That's City Group in Tucson.
Well, it's going to be an education for James Sands, isn't it? The physicalities, and occasionally when it oversteps that. He was back on his feet, didn't react.
He's done well. He's been, once again, very confident, composed. He's not afraid to play forward.
There he is in possession. Sporting KC have got all but one of their 10 men behind the ball. David Villa to Ring. Falls kindly for David Villa. Camargo on his outside. Not too much pace on that one for Villa.
Mayfield Flores is a proud supporter of MLS preseason in Tucson and a proud partner of FC Tucson. Exceed your
You see that little ball out to Camargo. Always Villa keeps running. Looking to get on the end of everything.
Mayfield Florist.
Helped on by Abdul Salam. Pasha giving chase. Falls to Camargo. Pasha. What a good year with Swope Park Rangers in 2016. Signed to a contract in December for Sporting KC.
Hey fans, use your match tickets from tonight's games and matches to get a great deal at the Culver's located on Keno Parkway. Simply present your ticket stub to the cashier when purchasing a Culver's value basket and receive the second one. You know it by now, absolutely free. This includes any sandwich, classic side, medium, soft drink. Culver's, welcome to delicious.
Approaching the last 5 minutes, and New York City defending this 1-goal lead with a man advantage.
Remember, fans, we have our championship nightcap with the Colorado Rapids taking on Houston Dynamo coming up at 6 p.m. Please hang around for more great
Kynes
MLS action.
to Ring.
That's our next match, our championship final. Please stay with us.
Blessing giving chase and forcing the error. This is the goal that's separating the two sides. Harrison to Morales. And Villa doesn't miss those, does he?
He doesn't miss those. And we talked a second ago about how he tries to make the box. Every time it goes wide, he finds himself top of the six. That movement, that dedication to being there every single time the ball is delivered there. Also gives those guys in wide areas the ability to get the ball there as early and as often as they can to give them a chance to score goals.
Matarrita on the overlap. Villa sniffing around once again.
Anytime that ball goes wide, you can see Villa ending up at the near post 6.
It was Iko Para that got his boot across. That'll be concern for New York City fans. David Villa's just down. Not too sure it's, well, he's hobbling a little bit, as you can see. Out of the picture, David Villa.
Well, that's obviously the concern. You want to get guys as close to 90 minutes as you possibly can. But clearly you want to be healthy going into game 1.
He seems to be okay now. Just maybe got caught just above the boot and below the shin guard, although shin guards these days are kind of tokenistic, aren't they, really? They're minute. Morales. Just watching Maxi Morales play. Kind of play, you give him space, he's going to hurt you, isn't he? Every single time.
He is, and that's exactly it. He operates in whatever space you give him. If the back four drops off, he's going to find himself in between lines. If it's compact there, he tends to find himself off the sides of the six, trying to find those little pockets in front of the fullback. So, you know, very active, very hard to deal with, and overloads areas. As whatever you give him, he's going to take.
He's going to be an exciting player to watch this season, Maxi Morales. Still not entirely free of pain, it appears, David Villa. But he's sticking it out. Final few moments of this last pre-season game. It all begins a week from now, the 2017 MLS regular season. Matarrita to Morales. That's given it away to Pasha. Through on goal. That would have been maybe a little unkind for Maxi Morales to finish his day with a giveaway.
Well, he hasn't done a lot wrong, but giving it to Pasha where he can sprint forward and take a good look at goal is certainly a concern. Pasha done well throughout his USL days and being a goal threat.
Villa being a nuisance at the other end. Not seen any time to be added on, but we've crept into the 91st minute. Referee Dave Ganter. Allowing play to continue as we edge into the 92nd minute. And he calls time eventually. David Villa's goal, the difference between New York City and Sporting KC. Suni Saad missed a penalty, well, had it saved by Sean Johnson, and then got himself sent off. Sporting KC playing the final few minutes with 10 men. It was David Villa from Maxi Morales, who I imagine, as we said throughout the commentary, the Villa and Morales combination is going to be pretty effective this year. They began to click as that game wore on, and the signs should be a little worrying for opposition sides.
Well, it definitely started out with the goal here. Great ball wide from Harrison to spring Morales, but you know that if you deliver into the six, that man, David Villa, is going to be on top of it. And he's on top of just about everything, isn't he, when it comes to the attacking piece of it. But great save from Sean Johnson on Saad, which I think led to frustration for sure when Saad got sent off. But Camargo going just wide. Plenty of chances in the second half for New York City FC. A lot of it came from wide areas, and here you see that with Saad. Definitely probably reaction of frustration. Missing the penalty, had a chance to bring them level in a game that they that probably would have been kind.
And this very close to the end. Pasha latching onto a giveaway from Morales, who did impress this afternoon. That effort though sailing high over the top of the bar. So the final games of pre-season for these two sides in the Eastern Conference, and Sporting KC in the West. New York City, courtesy of David Villa, winning by 1-0.